If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
That. Mm-hmm. But it's like you're just now going through every single thing and just you're almost creating a whole new menu.
Well, I did. I mean, all we had to recreate for items was just our brisket and pork and ribs. So it was 3 things that we do halves and fulls on.
Yeah.
So we didn't do variations for our loaded macs. Those were already separate items for us. Whereas you do them as variations or modifiers or however you do it.
Yeah.
Which I've never liked the modifiers to use stuff for that, or just because I like my reporting different than you guys like it. And that's not one way is wrong or the other way, but so I like being able to have items. So when I pull a top 10 item list for the day, I don't like to see just loaded. I like to know that which one's higher than the other without having to go through another layer to see which one performed better. So that's why I set mine up the way I did. It works for us. So the ingredient part will help. But yeah, there's some tedious granular work in there if you want to get down to that level. Like you don't have to enter I could just do an ingredient for each protein and call it good there, but I'm playing with the food cost stuff and tracking.
Show your menu, or can you bring that up again?
Which part?
Go to your loaded max, because you put a bunch of stuff on your loaded max. I kind of want to see, or your Durachos even. I kind of want to. Have you set that up yet?
Hold on. Are you talking about the modifiers?
No, like your recipe.
Okay.
Because I want to see how the ingredients kind of look at it or look like.
Oh, I can't. Hold on. Let me get to the right spot here. Items.
Okay, so you have. So your total cost $290. Okay. Okay, so you have. Hold on, I'm thinking. So how accurate do you think that quote unquote profit margin is?
It's. So what you're asking is how quote unquote close do you think my numbers are for onions and jalapenos and stuff?
Well, I don't think a jalapeno. So when you have one for jalapeno, so are you going?
It's not a whole jalapeno. It's a serving of jalapenos.
Which is how much? Like how many slices is a serving?
It's a sprinkle of jalapenos. It's like you're counting out pieces of diced onions. It's about a 2-ounce portion cup worth of. Is that number 100% accurate? It's probably a little high.
Well, so what I guess where I was going is like those 2 items. So like you have because this also doesn't have your like sour cream or.
We don't have sour cream on a loaded mac.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were. You're right. This is mac.
I can pull up Durachos if you want. Ooh, that's not spelled right.
Dior. The bougie.
Bubba says this is a whole new level of shigging for Skippy.
Shut up. Oh, you don't have it in?
Maybe I don't have it done yet, so I don't have Durachos done yet.
All right, that's fine.
Let me look on brisket. I might have the brisket done. I didn't. Sorry.
All right. No, I guess How are you going to keep accurate inventory of those small things like your onions and
I'm not. That's why we're not inventory tracking those at this moment.
you're only inventory tracking meat and mac and cheese?
Really not even inventory tracking that. So if you turn on inventory tracking, then you are putting things into inventory and it'll automatically take those off your menu.
Correct. Isn't
When
that
you get
what
to zero.
want?
Ideally, that's where we'll get to, yes. But for right now, we are manually marking out the ingredients sold out instead of counting on the system to do it automatically for us.
Okay.
Here's where we will do it for a couple of things, like ribs. It's easy to do with ribs. 6 racks is 6 racks is 6 racks. You know? So we do half racks and full racks. We cut them accordingly. You know? So they're ready to go. So if we do 6 racks for the day, we're going to have 12 half racks. In the recipe, a full rack is 2 half racks, right? So it can easily keep track of something like that. For us to do pork and brisket, we have to weigh out our pulled pork after we're done pulling it and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then enter that into the system. Now, as everybody knows, some pork butts are denser than other pork butts. So that 4-ounce scoop, while it's going to be close to the same weight every time, isn't the same weight every time. Right?
Okay.
Each brisket feels different. There's denser briskets, there's less dense brisket. So that scoop isn't going to be the same exact weight every time.
Yeah, fat weighs less than.
So
Awesome.
then do you just, when you put in your inventory for brisket and pork, do you just take off a couple pounds to give you a little bit of a cushion?
No, well,
because you can still ring it up. So here's our biggest why we want this to work is because of online orders. So that when someone goes to the website to place an order, they cannot order something that we're sold out of.
Correct.
So right now, we have to do it manually, each thing. So as Chris is marking all the things off that we're out of with mac and cheese in it, someone could still order something that he hadn't marked off yet. And we've had that happen because we weren't quick enough to get other the things. So now we do it preventatively anyway. So when we get down to, a pan of mac and cheese, he's going through and marking things as sold out that have mac and cheese in it. So
yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, that's the way you should do it. But
Mr. Rodriguez, from what I can tell from comments and things, I think this is like the 3rd iteration of this that they're testing. It sounds like they're probably pretty close. There are some features in there that people really, really, really want that they think are going to take much longer. So I don't know if they're going to get a base version out that we're using right now and then add some other features in. But we'll see. So among the features that somebody had asked for, so modifiers you can't assign a recipe to. So when I go into a loaded Mac and it pops up on the screen, and then you have a list of modifiers available to you. So you can add extra jalapenos, you can add extra meat, you can without onions. Those things don't adjust your inventory levels. So if we have someone order a loaded Mac with double brisket, it's not going to take 2 servings of brisket out of my inventory. It's only going to do the 1, which is another problem I have with letting the system just do its thing and do it automatically. So that they said that is a much more complicated programming thing than just the regular inventory tracking for whatever reason.
So you're saying that, okay, leave this modifier set up.
Okay.
So you have, let's say, $4 for pork, right? If you set a category, a pork category, and you go into that pork category and set a pork item, I apologize. If you do pork as an item, all pork, and you put all the pork dishes as modifiers.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So all your sandwiches, loaded Mac, whatever. Let's just say you're using the same scoop for everything.
Okay.
Couldn't you put in your 10 pounds of pork or whatever, and then every time you hit a modifier, it would take away that 1/4 pound? Or you're saying it doesn't have that? A modifier doesn't have that inventory feature.
Yeah, so you'd have to set it to pork as the item, not as the modifier. But again, if you set the recipe to pork as, your quarter pound, then yeah, it would work. I can't. Oh God, the reporting would make me want to throw up. But
why? Because if you do pork as a category and then pork as
no. You said pork is an item and then have everything as a modifier. So modifiers are different than variations.
Correct, but you can still run a modifier report. You can run a modifier report to see what your sales are. You're looking at me like I got a turd hanging out of my mouth.
Okay.
Go to your reports.
Yep.
See how it says modifier sales?
Okay.
I just don't know. That doesn't.
I like everything to be in one spot. So yes, if I'm curious how many times I'm selling double brisket, then yeah, I'll go into modifiers. But why? Yeah, like when I pull it up on my phone and I just pull up a sales report and I see my top 10 items. Why? Yeah.
Do you use the Square Dashboard app?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they just changed everything. So just the straight up Square app is what I typically use. Yeah.
All right. So I use this. There's a Square Dashboard app too. That's actually really cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't want to make finding things harder. I don't want extra steps.
I definitely understand you. I get that part.
So
I guess I'm trying to, for us trying to figure out, if it will take a quarter pound of pork out of the entire pork inventory for whatever you set. That's what I want.
Right. Which the way it's set up now is it will do that. So no matter what I ring up, it's going to take out the quarter pound. Okay. But when I have a double, What?
So let's say you open this brick and mortar and you do barbecue plates, right? Let's just say you do plates, traditional. Yep. And so you got a 6 ounce portion. Will this be able to do that too? Because how do you? I understand everything might be a quarter right now, but how would you do something that's not a quarter? Will it still be able to take out a higher amount or a different amount?
So you said, okay, sorry, 16 ounces in a pound, right?
Correct.
Oops, that's not right. 16? Oh, that's not even close to right. So for that item, for the serving, let me go back over here so we're all very clear. Items. So right now I have my, we don't have Dorachos in there. Why do we keep trying to go there? Let's go. Oh, God damn it.
The answer to life's questions, Josh, because. I like how you click on that one.
Oh, I don't have it set up. God damn it.
Oh, way to go.
That one's in there. But what if inventory items is by the ounce? Steve, you can ask whatever you want. So you can, for me, the single serving, so the 1 unit is set as 1 pound for brisket. So brisket inventory. So for a sandwich, I put in 0.25, which is 4 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
So for 6 ounces, it would be 0.375. So you just change this to be whatever you want it to be.
Okay, and it'll still take out your whole amount. Okay.
Yeah. Now, it'll still take out the 0.375 out of inventory.
Okay, so where are you going to put in your inventory to start the day?
If I was doing that, it would be brisket inventory. Oops, missed a letter. And then you'd come down here and you would go stock, manage stock.
Oh, yes. Okay. So same way you would normally do it.
Yeah.
And does this
okay. So tracking, select reason, stock received.
Yep, I got it.
30 pounds.
Whatever. Okay, and then you built a recipe for everything to come out of this. So each recipe you have with brisket, this is linked. Therefore, it will come out of that. Okay.
Correct. Yep.
So dumb question, and maybe I missed it.
Okay.
Why, with what you're doing with the beta and all this stuff, why wouldn't you do this? Or are you planning on doing this assuming beta gets right? Like everything goes well.
What am I not planning on doing?
Adding inventory.
For the exact reasons I just told you about.
You want to be in charge of it, not the system.
It's the pork and brisket that make me nervous. Once we get more comfortable with how everything else works, and we'll try to, with ribs, we'll have a pretty good test. Mac and cheese, we can kind of do it because those are pretty hard, fast, set servings. Mac and cheese weighs the same amount pretty much every time we do it.
Okay.
Depending on if we pull the noodles at the right time and there's not extra water content in the noodles, blah, 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 blah. So we can test certain items to make sure that this is why I would love to have be able to put the POS into test mode.
Yeah.
Because then we can ring through a bunch of stuff and make sure stuff leaves inventory the way we think it will leave inventory without having to ring up a whole bunch of stuff. So, it'll be one of those things where we'll try an item someplace where we think it might be slower that day. So that way we can kind of see how things are flowing and making sure the inventory is leaving the way we think it's going to leave. It's a trust thing for me. And the other thing I would love to see Square do is for us to approve online orders before they get paid.
Us to approve online orders before they get paid.
Yep.
Oh, so
we need to accept the order before they pay for it.
Oh.
Would be nice. Because we have to accept the order regardless. Well,
not really.
For it to print the ticket. Yeah, I mean, we go in and say, yes, we're working on it. So we have to progress the order.
Correct.
So just as soon as we hit accept, because I think it still says accept or whatever, and then it'll print the ticket, but they shouldn't pay for it before we acknowledge the order. Because there are so many things that can go wonky, especially with food trucks, So we have to make sure that we cut off ordering, a half an hour before we leave for online orders.
So has anybody told you about Square Sandbox?
No.
Supposedly it's a test mode. I just Googled it. I'm looking at it.
It's not Square official, it must be.
No, this is from Square Developer. Developer.squareup.com. The overview. The Square Sandbox is free, isolated server environment that allows developers to safely test Square APIs without affecting real data.
APIs, not POS layouts.
It lets you simulate payment processing and other business activities using test seller accounts and test payment methods. Square provisions.
Yeah, it's all for developers. So the apps that lay on top of Square, it's for testing those out.
No.
Thank you, Steve. I got you, bud. I came from... So yeah, those of us that came from or are in that field are familiar with that kind of stuff. But yeah. Because there was very active conversations with test mode stuff in the last couple of weeks with Square. And there's nothing there. Other than, we'll shoot it up the old flagpole. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this because we can track. I mean, we can inventory now if we wanted to clamshells and stuff like that. Like we can track all that stuff in there and have it automatically come out.
Well, then you can just print an inventory list and be able to do. I mean, ordering would be.
Yeah. So yeah, I think there's a lot there that you can do with it. With it being 2 weeks before we open, it's one of those things we'll probably gradually get into once things start to settle down a little bit. But I think there's a lot of value there, and hopefully they get it out to everybody.
again, dumb question. To test this out, could you create a testing location to where?
But you still can't run through transactions.
Yes, you can. Why wouldn't you be able? Like, I created a location for the trailer and the shop.
Yep, I have those too.
So just create a testing location where any testing that you do goes under that one location, and then you can set up when you run your reports. You can click on the 2 locations that you want to run the reports from.
Right. So you're just going to set everything to a $0 amount? Then I have to create all new menu items.
So no, I actually have I have a discount that's set up as testing /100%.
Yeah.
But anyway, no matter what, it will only bring up under that account. You won't pull any information from that account. Just saying. Could work.
Or they could just fucking make a test account. Would be awesome.
They could do a lot of fucking things that they haven't done yet. Swear's been out for years and all this shit that's still not. Whatever.
Yeah, you still get mad when they lose service for a couple hours.
Yeah, I do. Well,
everybody acting like Square's the only one that ever goes down.
Well, this one was worse because you couldn't even accept offline payments either. Like, the entire credit card processing system was down. There was no offline payment acceptance, no nothing. Which I'm glad if they were having an issue with the offline part, they threw that out and didn't let you take payments. But
yeah,
we were cash only for a hard minute.
At least you didn't have to report it to the IRS.
Still reported it.
Yeah. Oh, you still rang those ones up and didn't just do it like a pad of paper? And,
correct. It's a part of being legal.
I know it's new to you.
You're a dick.
Just talking about your staff.
You're mean.
Are your staff all excited about earning sick pay now?
What's sick pay?
Oh boy. Let me get your guys' union. I'll be their union leader.
We do not have any.
I'm calling Robinson.
With all the crap he posted, I'm dead. I'm just done.
Oh. Yeah, so looking forward to this. Looking forward to playing with it more. Seeing how it goes. So. Steve says, has he told them? I'm going to guess no. Skippy, in Skippy's mind, he doesn't have to give it to them if they don't ask for it. So if they don't watch the news, that's their problem. Your silence speaks volumes, Skippy.
We can just get off this subject. We can absolutely.
Did you hear there's a Michelin awarded barbecue restaurant in, I think, Colorado? Was it Colorado? AJ's.
Oh, I watched a video on La Barbecue the other day.
It was just seized for mishandling tax dollars.
Oh.
So it was pulling taxes out of everybody's paychecks, but not reporting it to the IRS.
Well, of course not. Why would they?
So, yeah. That's a top-notch owner right there. So, speaking of Michelin,
you gotta do what you gotta do. Anyway, what else are we talking about?
Speaking of Michelin, so we all know the stars: 1, 2, 3 stars.
Yeah, they're all bullshit.
They're all bullshit.
Listen, okay. First of all, it's a tire company.
Yeah.
Michelin stars.
Yep.
There's what, 3 Michelin barbecue restaurants, and 2 of them are in Japan or in Asia.
Okay.
Just saying.
So that makes it bullshit?
No, I don't have one.
Well, nobody in Michigan has a Michelin. They don't do them in Michigan.
Why not? That's rude. It's real rude. What?
Steve said supposedly it's pay to play now. Anyways, so there is a different category besides the star system.
Okay. Oh, Michelin. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's like not a star, but like a distinction.
Yeah. So it's I don't remember what I can't remember a bid gourmand.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
Yep. So which is it's all based on quality and value. So there's a small barbecue diner in Chicago that got the distinction just a couple weeks ago. They were in the latest list. And it's a shithole barbecue diner place. But yeah, obviously, I mean, clearly you still Bib. Thank you, Steve. Bib Gourmand. Yeah, which there are a handful of trucks out there that also have a Bib Gourmand designation.
So hometown barbecue in New York, which is a highly rated one in New York, is a Bib Gourmand.
Mm-hmm. But Michelin doesn't do anything in Michigan. Why? I don't know.
Stupid.
So, yeah.
Sounds like Matt's breaking things.
Yeah. There's less for him to clean if he breaks things.
So, is it La Barbecue or LA Barbecue? In Austin.
I don't know.
Oh. I think it's La.
I said AJ's. This is what I was talking about. They got seized.
So there's 2 Michelin stars in. See, this pisses me off. Burnt Bean Company should have a Michelin star, but it has a Bib Gourmand. But also Franklin Barbecue has that.
A Bib Gourmand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so it's a different level of food. While it's very, very, very good barbecue, there's a different level. Have you been to a Michelin star restaurant?
I don't have enough money, I think, for that. there is one Michelin star that's in Texas that I want to go to. I want to go to Interstellar Barbecue. They have a Michelin star.
Okay.
I do want to go to Texas again because we didn't really get a whole bunch of stuff.
Steve Rodriguez. Boy, that is really small. I think that's Ernest Cervantes.
Yes, Ernest
was
Cervantes.
mentioned. Then award was pulled back. Yeah, you have to maintain your awards. You don't get to keep them forever just because you get it.
Correct. No,
yeah,
he's a James Beard award-winning chef. I mean, he's been all over TV, but he's a down-to-earth dude.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a handful of Michelin star restaurants in Chicago. I want to go to Ever. I've been to two. One was in Iceland. Because he was out of area that paid for rating. Anyways, neither here nor there. Anyways, there is still some hope for us slowly barbecue food truckers to have prestige.
Is there really?
Well, not you and me, but out of the state.
For anybody.
If you're in the right area.
Yeah, that's probably true.
You wouldn't turn one down.
No, absolutely not.
So?
I just want my local magazine to love me.
Oh, for crying out loud. The amount of times you ask the media for newspaper interviews.
I do not ask the media for newspaper interviews.
Hey, there's a new barbecue place opening up in town, I heard. I do not think Skippy actually does that. It wouldn't surprise me, but
what should you do?
I'm sure it was a solid anonymous tip.
No, they called me. You want to know the actual truth? They called me. And I said, yeah, I can do an interview. Sure.
Good for you, Skippy. I dribbled on myself.
Good.
All wet.
We can deserve it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I've been doing. Oh, that and I hired a few people.
Yeah, let's talk about your hiring. You got somebody for the 3 a.m. or you got 2 people for 3
I for sure have one, Ricardo. I met with him on Friday.
Ricardo Montalban.
Stop being racist.
How's that racist?
I don't know. You didn't have to do the accent.
It's stereotypical, not racist. Get over it.
I don't know, this day and age. Yeah, drink some more C4. Get yourself more woke.
Look at you using fucking words you have no idea what mean.
Not a clue. Where were we? Oh yeah, Ricardo.
I have no idea.
Ricardo will be doing 3 days of the 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. And Matt, just throw all of that shit away.
Did he show up for his interview on time?
Yeah.
Was this a phone call?
We did one via phone call, and then he came to the house.
Oh.
So
I was all the magic happens.
Well, that was kind of the point, so that when he shows up he's driving here at 2:30 in the morning, I don't get a phone call saying, I can't find your house.
What type of experience does Ricardo have?
Lots of field experience.
What? What does that even mean?
He's worked in the field.
Is picking
the restaurant field?
What?
Oh my God, you're so racist.
That's not racist. Picking vegetables?
The restaurant field.
Okay. Well, pronouns, pal.
Pronouns?
Sorry. Adjectives, verbs, something, nouns. What type of field?
All right. Yeah. So yeah, he had some restaurant experience from a while ago. He's done some things here and there, of various things.
So can I ask what made this person what do you think will make this person be a good hire? Like, what did you like about him, other than he just called you and said, "Hey, I'll do 3 a.m." and you?
My gut.
Okay.
My read on people. I don't know. There's nothing that in.
Good talk.
He answered the questions with thought, coherently. He was polite. He was courteous. He was well kept.
Well, that's definitely good, for sure. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just ask next time.
I don't know that he's going to be a good hire. Jesus Christ.
Sorry. They come out of nowhere sometimes.
The power of Christ compels you.
Is that racist? What?
No.
Anyway. Fine.
Yeah, I don't know that he's going to be good.
But
he's good enough to be to take a shot on.
Sorry.
Yeah, he is good enough to take a shot on, and that's all I ever hire on is my gut and how I feel about people when I talk to them. There's no list of magical questions that I ask. I don't ask everybody the same questions. I have a conversation with people, and then I make a judgment based on the conversation. Pam says, Josh, you must have took his words seriously, unlike my application.
Right. Oh, she said the same thing to me, too. She's like, you probably wouldn't hire me. I said, you'd be my first call.
Well, now.
She was going to stop by, and she was very upset that I was not open on Sunday.
Mm. You and Chick-fil-A. And then, yeah, we hired a person, customer service person for inside the trailer. So both positions have been filled.
Is this person a gal or a guy?
A young lady, Felicia.
Okay. Felicia. Oh, yes. I can't wait till you fire her.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
That'll be how she leaves the trailer every time. Bye, Felicia. So, yep. And then Troy will be meeting me tomorrow at the house to fill the other half of the early morning prep. So, as long as he works out, they will both be starting next week. I'll do 2 weeks with them on the trailer, and then they're on their own. So, I feel confident that they will both show up. I told Ricardo my only demand is if you feel any sort of anything the night before to give me a call then. I said, even if you think you might be able to make it, give me a call. So that way I can at least be up. And that way, if you're not feeling good in the morning, I'm already there. Open communication is what was stressed big time with these positions. So,
well, I had an interview today, but canceled on me.
Which paper? Oh. I'm just jealous of your press, Skippy. That's all it is.
You've got more food truck awards than I have. I've only been nominated. I've never won. Yeah,
we got 2 months. 2 months before we have the results of our last one. So May. And I was going to go to that one. I was going to go to the show this year, and I'm going to be in Florida, it looks like. So,
have you ever been to a Gordon's food show?
I have not. I've heard they're pretty good, though.
There's one next week here in our Michigan area.
Yeah, you should go. They were at the Food Truck Expo. They had a booth there.
Really?
Yeah, so the guy that was there, one of the reps, was actually from Hudsonville.
Oh.
So he actually knew the trailer. He was supposed to get back to me, never did, about cheese pricing for whole block cheese.
Yeah, how is that more expensive than shredded cheese right now?
It always is, because Gordon's doesn't sell enough of the block cheese, so they can't produce it, which still doesn't make sense because it still takes more labor. But that's what he explained to me. He says they just don't move enough of it to be able to reduce the price on it.
Correct, but I'm talking about it's not just Gordon's. I mean, Sam's, everywhere. Meijer, Kroger.
That's interesting. Probably because it's not real cheese that they're using for shredded.
Guess so.
So I mean, Gordon's has an imitation cheese product.
They do have an imitation cheese.
Yep. So I found a farm, Gossner Foods, and they sell cheese, and they sell 5-pound blocks for $19.
Is that good?
So the 5-pound bag.
It's $5 more than a 5-pound bag.
It is, but it's not. It's still cheaper than what. Yeah, it's still cheaper than what Gordon's is going to have for 5-pound block. So yeah, for me, for a batch of mac and cheese, for me that'd be another $10. You break it down to on 50 pounds. I mean, we're probably up another % on our food costs on the item. Total.
So Meijer right now has their blocks. Actually, I mean, the 8-ounce block is $2.
Yeah, I bet you it's more for shredded. Is probably.
That's actually not bad.
2-pound block for how much? You say 8 ounce?
8 ounces, so a half pound.
So you're $4. Yeah,
that's a lot. Never mind.
So $4 a pound. So for 5 pounds, you're at 20.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That adds up quick when you start doing the math. Yeah.
Cheddar cheese.
I think right now for a 5-pound bag, I think it's 16 current pricing from Gordon, somewhere in that general vicinity. So I could handle going to 18 on that, I think. Considering it should be a better product on the end. Generally that cheese melts a little smoother. You're going to get a creamier, smoother mac and cheese. So it's one of those, is it worth the extra cost if you're going to end up with a better product on the end? And back to the whole butter thing, Skippy. Yes, I know that if it's selling fine now, why make a change? Because it can always be better.
But can it?
Yes, it can. There is no cap on improvement.
I understand that. Again, going back to the original conversation, I don't know how your customers are going to know unless you broadcast it.
They don't necessarily need to know.
But so how are you going to...
I don't need to advertise
track
new real butter.
No, but how are you going to track whether that increased cost is better for your business or not?
If we sell more mac and cheese.
But again, you could sell more mac and cheese being like... I don't believe that even can be a contributor.
So okay, wait, hold on. So you're saying that if I make a change in recipe and it has an adverse effect on sales, so we sell less mac and cheese all of a sudden, that's not what you can point to as the change in recipe?
I don't know what you could, because you could just be at a different place that doesn't.
I'm talking historic. I'm not talking just like looking at one location. I'm talking about month to month or year to year that we'll know if it makes a difference or not.
That's really the only way you can track it.
Yeah, I'm not talking about.
I know, but
this Monday we sold more mac and cheese than last Monday, so it must be good. No, you can't do that's it's way too granular in any restaurant, let alone a food truck, where you're moving locations.
Well,
so yeah,
I could see how it would be a restaurant thing because you're not moving locations.
But it's still just as fickle as a food truck, which you are learning in your cafe.
We're learning.
So, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's fickle no matter what the location is. It's a long play. So just like competition barbecue, when back in the days when we were all doing, us on the low side, 8 competitions, versus you have these other guys that are doing one every other week, you can't change a recipe and then have it not hit at the next contest and just throw it out the window. You have to play the long game on it.
I agree.
So yes, at the end of the year, if we end up selling less mac and cheese, then the following year, it's like, okay, we revisit the recipe. Unless it's a drastic hit right away over like a week. Like no matter where we're at that week, oh no. It's like we're just not selling outside of that first day with the new recipe where everybody's on board. But generally, when we've changed recipes before, we've changed our mac and cheese recipe frequently our first couple of years.
Yeah.
And we'd get messages. Didn't really care for this. What did you guys change? It's a little spicy today. And that's the feedback that I know we can count on from our customers. I don't think that the butter is a huge flavor difference. I think it's a richness difference and a texture difference.
I could see that.
So it's a richer flavor. It should allow for a creamier cheese sauce. Now, cheese changing the cheese, I think it's a lot of the same thing. I think the flavor is relatively the same. It's not a big change in flavor, but it's a better product texture wise. There's multiple reasons to change the recipe. So better ingredients always ends up with a better end product. And we should never stop striving for better ingredients.
I agree. I mean, you should always, yeah. I don't claim to be the best. I claim to be consistent. That's all I care.
Yeah, says the guy that just made mac and cheese with a can of cheese sauce.
I make mac and cheese with cheese sauce anyway. So.
Oh my God. You do every time? You don't make your cheese sauce? Okay.
Nope.
Steve, we are using real butter. Sweet cream butter is what we are using. We were using before the Blue Bonnet / Imperial margarine in our roux. So I would still like to do a side-by-side video because you can see it when you do the roux, the difference between the two. And it's pretty startling when those two products melt and then you just add the flour to it. It's a pretty strong contrast between the two, which is why I would never go back, I don't think. So I am thinking about adding a little bit of vinegar to the ribs when I wrap them. Just a smidge. Just for a little zippy bite.
I've tried using vinegar sauce and it lightens the color up a lot.
Does it?
Yeah. Like a lot. Like when I say a lot, I mean a lot.
Steve says Coke versus New Coke. It's bigger than that. Shut up.
Pepsi versus
it's like Crystal Pepsi. Crystal Pepsi.
Yeah. Crystal Pepsi.
A tab free. You gotta order something before you can have a tab. Name that movie. Can I just get a tab? Back to the Future.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyways, that is it for today, everybody. Welcome to the end of the show. I know you're all happy about it. I am.
I love you.
We had a singular TikTok live streamer today. Really light on TikTok today. Interesting. Who would have thunk it? Oh, I did get. I don't know. Bring this up real quick. We did get all our cameras and setup done in the trailer for our TikTok live stream.
Yes.
Skippy, you saw it. How'd it look?
Other than the cord hanging, fair.
It's all taken care of.
Good.
I didn't have. Yeah, the cords I had that were long enough to go around, but they were very low quality. So I had to order some new ones. So I didn't want to attach them. I'll just take them back down.
The cameras or the cords?
The cords.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm using the eMeets cameras in there. So those are screwed in with some mounts into our hood.
Oh, okay, good.
The frame of the hood, but yeah, I mean, so we'll see. We'll see how well that all holds after going down the road, but I'm pretty confident in the whole setup.
Good.
Got a little tiny PC in there with a monitor and a keyboard and a mouse. We'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it. The picture. Were you looking on your phone when you saw it?
Yes, I was looking on my phone.
How is it with the two cameras?
Picture was fine.
Excellent. Sound was good. Obviously, you heard us talking because you were responding.
Yeah, sound was good.
Okay. Excellent.
Excellent. I mean, the actors were ugly as hell, but
yeah, I know. He's really excited about having one of those cameras pointed right at his butt for all day.
He's gonna start wearing his pants lower.
Higher.
What do you say now?
All right, everybody. That's it. We will be back next week for my last preseason show. So.
Can't wait.
I should be fully stressed and by that time.
What the fuck would you be stressed for?
I don't know. Why are you still stressed every time you go to do a catering job?
Because I am. Okay, that's why. Because.
Hey, and that's it. It's the first day of the season. What could go wrong? Everything. Everything could go wrong. All right, everybody. Have a good week. We will see you next week. Same time, same channels. Goodbye.